Yo, Aztec Warriors, welcome to another episode of Aztec Analogies, where I try to give you simplified answers to your fitness questions. So the question for today is, why are crash diets so bad? Now, a lot of people know crash dieting is not good for you, but you guys would be surprised at how many people I talk to where either they have a very physically demanding job or they just finished a really killer workout and it's like, you ate how many calories today? 800? 1,000? 1,200? Oh my God. So for those of you that don't know what crash dieting is, let me give you an example. New Year's comes around, you look in the mirror, you're around your friends and you're like, I have to lose weight this year. I'm going to lose 30 pounds in the next 2 months. What's the number one way to do it? I'm going to cut how much I eat. So you go from 2,500, 3,000 calories, because you like to splurge on your dinners, if you know what I mean. And you're like, I'm going to cut that down. And at the end of the day, you only have about 1,000 calories. Like I mentioned for some of the people that I talk to and they have a demanding job, physical workouts, and it's just that's all they eat. So why is that bad? Let me give you a great analogy. Now imagine that you have a 2-year-old. And what do they call that? The terrible twos, where it's like, yeah, the kids are just driving you nuts. But think about this. So today you have a 2-year-old. Tomorrow they're 20 years old. Now go with me with this example. They're 20 years old. So in a matter of 24 hours, they jumped 18 years. What do you think is going to be the life of that kid that instantly becomes a young adult? They're going to be completely messed up. They're not going to be mature. They're not going to be probably that strong because they didn't have that time to mature through their adolescence, through their puberty, through their teenage years, young adult years, and have all that, the whole 9 yards, the social interactions and everything. So think of that like you are approaching your diet. One day you're doing this and the next day you jump to an extreme. What's going to happen? Your body has not matured to handle that new weight. What does that mean? So I'll give you an example of a 200-pound guy. So a 200-pound guy, he's like, I want to get down to 170. What you want to do is you first want to train your body. Okay, I'm going to train it to do be 198, train it to be 196, train it to be 192, train it to be 190, all the way until you get down to 170. Because here's the thing. If somebody who is 200 pounds, they don't have the eating habits, they don't have the discipline, they don't have the exercise habits of somebody who is 170. This is why I always tell people, like, let's say, again, if you're that 200 pounder, you want to be someone that's 170, you have to think like somebody who's 170 pounds. In other words, you have to mature in your choices, in your habits, in your decisions, in your patterns, daily patterns of what you eat, how you exercise in order to reach your goal. And if you think you're going to learn that in a matter of 2 months, well, you're mistaken. Because what happens with a lot of these crash dieters? They start their New Year's resolution or whenever they decide to do it, 2-3 months later, maybe they lose 10 pounds, they get discouraged and they're like, all right, they go back to eating how they normally did and boom, they gain it right back. I mean, how many people do you know that do crash diets? A lot of people. And how many of them do you know that they lost the weight and kept it off? Nobody. So going back to that example of the kid that matures from 2 to 20, he or she does not have the capacity to understand what it means to be a 20-year-old in a matter of 24 hours. You need those 18 years to understand what it takes to be a 20-year-old. So just like you want to lose weight, you have to first understand somebody who is 170, if you're that 200 pounder, and then gradually get there. That's the reason I use the example of first train your body to be 198, 196, because people who are much smarter than me have come up with the theory that, or have proven, nutritionists, physiologists, that it is healthy and safe to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week. So with that in mind, if you are looking at that, the most you should lose in 1 month is 8 pounds. So if you're 200 pounds by January 1st, by February 1st, if you are doing the right things, you should be 192. So every week you're training yourself. Okay, I've learned what my body can do at 200 pounds, and then boom, go from there. Go from 200 all the way down to 192. And sure, you certainly set that goal where you're like, I'm going to lose those 30 pounds. Again, going back to that example, in 2 months. But what if it doesn't take you 2 months? What if it takes you 6 to 8 months to lose those 30 pounds? It took you longer, but now, what if you maintained that new weight of 170 for a whole decade? You see the difference? Because you learned, you matured in your mentality, in your approach to your exercise and diet, what happened is you learned the proper way to maintain that lower weight. Whereas somebody who wanted it instantly, just like that, they didn't learn the proper habits and behaviors and patterns of somebody who can lose that weight and maintain that weight of 170. And that's why you see people where they crash diet, and then because they don't understand how to maintain that new weight, they go back to their old habits, and as a result, they regain that weight back. And then every year, it's just the same cycle. Lose the weight, gain the weight. Lose the weight, gain the weight. So what is the 2 main takeaways from this? 1, be patient. It takes time to learn and mature. And then 2 is educate yourself on how your body, understand your eating habits, understand your exercise habits. And then afterwards, gradually from there, you're like, okay, I understand why I'm 200 pounds right now. I can make these changes, whatever it may be, with your carbs or fat or exercise, whatever it is. Boom, I'll lose 1 to 2 pounds. All right, I'm down to 190. I understand what it takes to get to 190. Let me go to 180. And you see how maybe this will take a little bit longer, but afterwards you'll understand it and you'll be able to maintain it for the rest of your life. That is how you reach a true level of understanding of losing and maintaining the weight or getting into the shape you want to be in. So that's the reason that, I guess I kind of went into another side tangent of the reasoning that crash dieting is bad. But again, going back to that analogy of, do you want to be that kid that goes from 2 to 20? No. You want to be that person that goes from 200 to 170 like that? No. You want it to be extended over a period of time so you can understand what's going on in your body. Okay, I think that sufficiently iterated my point of why crash dieting is bad, and to help you understand a little bit more so that you can learn, this is what I gotta really do to be able to lose weight or get in the best shape of my life. Now, so please share this video with your friends and family members, comment as well on any other questions you may have, and of course, subscribe so you can learn more. And then after, the other cool thing is you can try my online personal training where I teach you exactly, specifically for you, what you need to do for your exercise or nutrition to be able to get into that condition that you want to achieve. All right. With that was another episode of Aztec Athletics, and I will come back to you guys with another awesome, exciting episode. All right, until next time, champions.